You're not on the field, court, or ice.
CWall.
You are on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Good evening and welcome to Coaching from the Couch, live from the studio. I am your host, CWall, and I am always excited. But tonight is very, very special because we have a champion in the house. This is championship talk. So if you're not a champion, don't tune in. If you want to be one, or if you think you won, you can stay for this conversation. I have my man here, Curtis Banks, who is the coach of the Mamie Johnson Little League Championship team, the historic team this summer. Oh my gosh, didn't they just warm all of our hearts this summer? If you've been following the story, those young men did some excellent things this summer. And this is the leader of the pack. And if you don't know, before we just hold on, I got my Letterman on. I got my Hampton Letterman on, and he's wearing the Hampton is Hillman shirt because yes, you guessed it, we are Hamptonians, the standard of excellence, and that's why we're talking to championship coach Curtis Banks. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I hope you like that introduction. I told you we were
I do. You kind of gave me like a Steve Harvey kind of introduction there. I wasn't ready for that.
So, I know that this has been just a whirlwind, a hectic probably years, summer, fall for you. But before we get into the journey to the championship, tell us a little bit about yourself and just about your background.
I mean, pretty much you kind of said it. I'm not born in D.C. I'm a D.C. transplant. I'm a military brat. I've played baseball all my life. Went to Hampton, graduated out of Dunbar Senior High School, Crimson Tide all day. You know, that's what I do. Play ball.
You don't want to tell nobody you a Dallas Cowboys fan?
Oh, yeah. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not going to deny that.
We're talk about that today. We're
going to get to that later on. We'll get to that later on.
We're going to make sure we have no time to talk about that.
Oh, you don't want to talk about your skins, huh? That's okay.
Well, I mean, it's okay, but if we run out of stuff to talk about, which I doubt, we can talk about that. But, so tell me just about the Mamie Johnson Little League, because some people may not even know the history of the league.
Okay. So the league was founded in 2014. Keith Barnes, he's the founder. He's one of the he was also one of the coaches with me as well. Keith Barnes founded the league in 2014. We ended up using, we came into a partnership with the Washington Nationals Academy. We started there 2014 that spring. And we just kind of built a good rapport with the academy. Raphael Lockett, who's also a good friend and coach of mine, me and him this year, we partnered up along with Keith. And we just kind of put in the hard work, the hours, studying, doing scouting reports to get the boys ready to go put in work on the field.
Wow. That's awesome. So what age group do you coach?
So this was 12U. So this is like the Little League, like World Series kids you see on TV every summer. Right. That's pretty much what it was. It's like that 12 to like that 11, 12 age range, such as here on ESPN.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about just coaching baseball. I mean, I know, we laugh and joke about football. of course, I mean, I'm taking you probably watch a lot of other sports.
Yeah.
But because of your background in baseball, what are some of the differences and similarities around coaching and just playing a sport?
Well, just coaching in general is coaching in general is almost per se kind of being a manager. Mm-hmm. Luckily for me, the way our team was set up this year, just the All-Star team itself, myself, Keith, Raphael, the three of us, I consider us a three-headed monster. Mm-hmm. It was almost like a triangle offense, Keith would be the Phil Jackson. I'll let Raphael be Jordan, and I'll be Scotty. I'll play a support cast. Keith, being the founder of the league, he kind of put that foundation in. Raphael, last year, he coached the boys to the semifinals in D.C., and they lost by 1 run. Mm-hmm. And then, I took the guys this year to New York. I lost in the semifinals. But, when the three of us got together, we realized what we had. Mm-hmm. We knew we had some kids who were kind of rough on the edges. But once we got the guys working and, condition, things like that, it was great. Being a coach, especially in baseball, you have to know everyone's abilities, what they can and can't do. Mm-hmm. It's a lot about team chemistry. Mm-hmm. And for our kids, a lot of them grow up in that same area. So they knew each other, knew of each other. And also, they went to the academy. So after school, they had that camaraderie. They had that friendship. So when they got to the field, it was just second nature for them. You just add little pieces here and there. You change little things up. But just like any other position, any other coaching position, you're just a manager of trying to manage situations.
Mm-hmm. So you've mentioned just now that you've experienced some losses. Mm-hmm. So how much did you learn from those losses that helped to shape, okay, here's what I did well, here's what we didn't do so well? How much of that kind of shaped, here's what you need to do differently to get you on the road to a championship?
As a coach, you always have that what if.
Right.
There were plenty of nights, and if Raphael were to call in, he would probably tell you, there were nights me and him would text each other like, man, we should have made this change. Or, what if we had to kind of change this person or made a substitution earlier, or maybe I shouldn't have called that pitch, or I could say, what, maybe I should have told him, stop hitting backside, just go with the pitch. You always have those kind of things. And even after a loss, it was definitely hard. The good thing about our kids, and I could say this now, is they may have lost, but they always got the lesson. And we're ready for that next fight.
Right. So, winning the championship in D.C., was that a goal that you all set out to do this year? Was it like, okay, well, listen, we're going to win the championship?
So, because of what happened last year, our theme was the big payback.
Okay.
So,
the big payback. I like that.
Yeah. So, if you came to any of our games this year, we would have music playing, and we would have the big playback by James Brown. So we won. You hear that dun dun, hey, and then he was.
And the kids bought into that.
No, the kids didn't understand.
They didn't understand. I was like, the kids
didn't know
about that.
No.
Makes
the kids
sense
didn't
to
know.
us.
But me and the coaches knew, like, hey, we're building something, and this is what we're doing. We're not taking this L this year. Like we lost the championship last year. This year, we're not going to lose. Like. We're going all the way this year. So when we got to the championship, and we're looking back like, hold on. Everybody wants to pitch that ace? Like, y'all not going to see us in the championship? Oh, we good. We got this. We see y'all.
That's right.
And the crazy part was, there's a video on Facebook that someone has, and I don't think they even put it on Facebook anymore. I think they may have deleted it, but... There's an interview that says, like, I literally had a moment where I kind of cried. I really did cry.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, because it was, like, you spend your entire summer with 13 boys. Like, I have a daughter, so, she does dance and cheerleading. There's nothing against dance and cheerleading.
Wait, hold up.
There's nothing against that. It's a sport. It's a sport. It's nothing against dance and cheerleading. But I spent my entire summer with these young men. So they're like my sons. And, I call them like, oh, what's up, son? What's up, nephew? Things like that. So when they got over that hump, we won that championship. I felt like a dad. Like I just watched my kid. Like I just watched my kid walk across the stage.
That makes me feel good because I'm very emotional when it comes to sports. I've probably been out there crying. You'd be like, "One of your kids out here?" No. However, this is wonderful. But okay, so you mentioned your emotion and that you cried. What was it like for the young men winning that championship and just the road there? Did they know? Sometimes it's like kind of second nature. It's kind of like, okay, well, whatever. But
so the crazy part is this: is that the night we won, the kids were like, they were going through the roof. Like, I've never seen them ever act this excited before. We play music during practice. If you saw the interviews on the MLB Network and all that stuff, you saw us kind of having fun with the kids, kind of playing around, dancing with them, things like that. Sure. Well, the night we won, one of the guys, Steven, he wasn't there. He was actually in California for his grandmother's birthday. Okay. So we won, and literally after we partied on the field, they got to the parking lot, and the first thing they do is, we got to call Steven. They call Steven on the phone. They FaceTiming him, and they're in a parking lot dancing, jumping up and down, and he's on the phone dancing up and down. And that was the first time I realized, like, whoa,
yeah,
it's bigger than what we thought it was.
Right.
But as soon as Tuesday midnight hit, and the phone started ringing, and the interview requests coming in, it was like, nope, we got to get back to work.
Wow. So it was like you had your championship moment, but then it was back to work. So you went from the championship here to highs, of that experience. Then you went to Connecticut. Did not return victorious.
We didn't. I mean,
but it's still a win. It was still a win to me.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, whatever.
So, yeah.
But was it like that for you all? Because some people are like, a loss hurts. It doesn't matter. But how was that going up there and then?
So for myself, and I could probably say the other coaches as well, taking a loss hurts.
Absolutely.
The first team we face is New York. That New York team, they had been together 4 years. So they had just, like, went through everybody. It was like, in the words of Shannon Sharp, you want smoke, welcome to the barbecue. Like, they just walked through everybody. Nobody they faced in like 3 years, had put up more than 1 or 2 runs on them.
Oh, wow.
So when you go and you face a team like that, and you're watching the videos on YouTube, thank God for YouTube, by the way. You're kind of intimidated, and you don't want to tell your kids, like, you're facing the #1 seed in the country.
Okay.
Like, these kids are good. Like, they had a pitcher who, hands down, was like, I thought he was grown. When he walked into the cafeteria, I'm looking at him like, dude, like, man, you had to square up if you hit me. Like, but until he spoke, I was like, okay, he's still a kid.
Right.
But you face that #1 team, and you go head to head with that team, and you battle with them for 4 innings. Wow. And the score is 3-3.
Y'all held it down.
And you're #1 team in the country at this time. Like, they're predicting this team to win it all. And you're 3-3. And next thing we know, coach comes over and says, time out. Pulls the kids over. He's ripping into them. Next thing we know, my kids we didn't have the stamina to go more than 4 or 5 innings. And for those guys, they had played so much ball already. Their bodies were ready to go. That 6, 7, whatever it took to get that win. And my boys, we did great. We just weren't mentally prepared for that, for anything after 5 innings. And that's really what kind of hurt us.
So it was like the experience outweighed at that moment. This New York team, they just had more experience. They had been there. They had done that, and it was just
right. Because see, in DC, it's a small avenue. When you have Maryland, Virginia, and those type of tournaments, they might play a city, they'll go play a county, then they'll play a regional, then a state, and then that's when they end up with, whoever wins the state then goes to the overall regional. So for DC, you just have 4 or 5 teams here, and we just play pool play, and then we say, okay, now we're going to go play in Little League. Those other teams might have 15, 16 games under their belt. You might only have 3.
Right.
So you have that experience, like we said earlier.
Right.
And you have that chemistry where they know that the person behind me is going to pick me up. My kids have those same expectations. The problem is we didn't have that experience in that. So that was one of the big things.
Yeah. So how was then just going to Connecticut, that whole entire experience? How did you all take that in as another lesson learned, and just how you ended up finishing the season?
Connecticut was dope. Shout out to Adam Jones, man. Adam Jones.
Yeah, I mean, y'all got a lot of play now. We
Yeah.
got to talk about, because you did get big time, so it's okay. It's all right. But I would have too.
I mean, let me say this.
I would have.
There are a lot of people who I would love to thank, but I only have this show.
You can
I
start
do.
it.
You know, Andre Lee, Rolanda Johnson, Ebony Bennett, Timmy Shields, Hampton University alumni,
Yes.
Mechaton, the Shriners of DC, Prince Hall Lodge number 14 out of DC. Just the entire community, my family. A lot of people just donated anything. You know, when we got on that bus, nobody knows. When we got to the bus that day to go to Connecticut, we literally had so much stuff that when we got on the way back, we got off the bus and still had stuff to eat.
We
had plenty of snacks,
awesome.
food,
That's awesome.
and people just gave out their heart. So out of the kindness of my heart, and I'm gonna speak for the families, the coaches, everybody. Thank you, DC area. We are greatly appreciative. And what's really crazy is since August, I think I've been to maybe a couple different towns, a couple different cities, and you're surprised at how many people actually know the story of that team. You know, I went to New Orleans and people were like, "Hey, you I saw you on TV. Your kids on ESPN. I just watched you guys literally 2 minutes ago. So you finished a weekend ago, but ESPN is still running you on TV, and so people are still into it. So that was big.
Yeah, I mean, you all were being covered everywhere. MLB Network, ESPN, of course, all of the local stations. I mean, it was big.
Yeah, the first time, this is the guy in the truth. The first time I realized that we had made it was my dad never really texts me, and he texts me like, "The city is counting on you. Good luck." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Well, I turn my TV on, and I'm watching, what is it, Around the Horn.
Oh yeah.
And Yates mentions, shout out to the Mamie Johnson Little League, being the first predominantly all-black team in D.C. to win. And I'm like, on Around the Horn?
Right.
Are you serious?
We made it.
Hey, yo, crazy. I had friends in Oregon who called me like, "Hey, I saw you guys on Oregon television." I said, "Oh, on ESPN." "No, you guys were on like the regular news." I was like, "Huh?" The regular news?
On their local station?
Yeah, like their local station.
Wow, yeah, that's big.
That was
that's
crazy.
Big.
It was like Houston. Like it was wild.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. You know I'm proud of you. I told you that.
You did. Yeah. Yeah.
That was extra.
I'm not gonna. Okay, so let me tell y'all how proud of y'all. How the host here. I'm telling the story. So, Candy saw me at Brass Tap at the National Harbor.
Oh, God.
It was still a little league going on. I went there. My brother works as a bartender, so if you're there, go check out Brass Tap. Ask for Kevin.
It's nice.
I was eating wings. I look over. Somebody's sitting over here to my left. He's like, "Yeah, you know, whatever." I say, "Okay, man, I'm paying my bill. I leave out." 10 minutes later, he goes, "Hey, did the woman at the bar talk to you?" I'm like, "What woman at the bar?" He's like, "There's a woman at the bar who said, you know, y'all went to school together." I said, "Nobody at the bar talked to me." The next day, I get a message on Facebook. Hey, I'm Candy Waller. I saw you at Brass Head last night. Your brother told me you were there. And I'm like, really? You couldn't say hi to me? You waited
listen, wings are important.
Oh, yeah, it definitely was. And I made them change the game from the Redskins game.
You did.
I did. Because I wanted to watch
who was the culprit with that one.
It was me.
Because it was on all the TVs. And then all of a sudden it was on one. And then I was like, well, hold up.
Yep.
They over here watching baseball. There's something else over here I don't want to watch. What happened to Redskins on all three TVs?
I asked my brother to change the channel.
But at the same time, I told you I couldn't say nothing. I was like, you know what? There's been too many cameras in his face. I'm not on groupie mode today. He's eating wings. I think I'm going to order some because they look good. But I'll wait till tomorrow because he might just wanted to eat his wings in peace.
And that would have been okay. You could have said other people, they just kind of touched me. Like, they walk up and like, hey, I saw you. Like, no, I don't know you. Like, in my personal space, like, we don't know each other that well.
Right. And now look at him. He's on the show. And I had to say something eventually, but also he's a Hamptonian, so
that is
he
true.
Represents the Hampton community well, and all of us. So we're all very proud of you. Now,
thank you.
We have to talk Nats.
Woo. Hold on. How much time we got left?
You don't seem so excited about that.
Because
I don't know what time it is because of the clock.
Look, okay, here goes my thing.
I don't know.
Nats, don't get mad at me if you say this. I hope you're watching the Strasburg because I'm about to say what you said. When Bryce Harper first got drafted by the Nats, and Bryce was kind of playing that waiting game like he didn't want to sign, Strasburg said, and I quote, if you don't want to be here in D.C., with us and be a family, then don't come because we don't want you here. He was offered $300 million before the year was over with.
Yeah.
Before the season ended, you turned down $300. That is like hitting Powerball.
I'm not hitting the Powerball.
It's guaranteed money.
Yeah.
He can go out tomorrow and rupture his Achilles, tear his knee up, whatever. He still gets his $300 million.
He gonna still get paid.
Now, if he gets hurt during this off season training. He's just SOL.
Yeah.
So then what happens?
Well, yeah. I mean, Bryce just didn't do enough to justify the price tag. I said that a couple weeks ago when I first started the show. I was just like, because I think, he made it quite obvious that he was leaving. He wasn't going to sign. And so now knowing that the Nats offered him something, I think they're saying that it was like the very end of the season and it was like, nah. That, it kind of to me, I was like, okay, so all the signs are there. He's trying to get paid. He's trying to get his money. And I think another report came out that says his agent is trying to get $500 million. So you figure, okay, if you get 500, somebody will give you 4. But at the end of the day, Bryce, he's going to get paid. He's going to get his money.
Is Bryce going to get paid? Yes, Bryce is going to get paid.
Yes, Bryce is going to get paid.
The question is, he's not going to get paid until Manny Machado signs. Because Manny Machado is more stable. Yes, Manny Machado's a nut job, but when you look at the numbers of production and what Manny brings to the field, you're going to go with Manny.
That's why I like you. You got some truth serum. I like people coming with your talk truth.
Plus,
on
top of that,
bag on my show.
On top of that, I don't even know if Bryce even went to see his field that the Nats named after him.
Oh.
Like, they wouldn't name the field after him. Like, you couldn't, dude.
They did.
They wanted you. The community wanted you.
The community is very, very happy with Bryce. I felt like he was a staple in sports. He was a symbol of DC sports he had become. And I was at the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. I was at the Home Run Derby. And, the way everybody got behind Bryce to win, it was just... the whole building was just electric. It was erupting, and it was just like, wow, these people really love. And I know it can't be about the fans and the community all the time, but it says something when people are like, "No, we want you to stay. We really like you. Like we want you." Now his value has been questioned just from a player perspective. I think. And rightfully so.
Here's the thing, and I'll say this about DC. DC is this area is very hometown oriented.
Right.
I can tell you right now, I've never watched the Caps. But when the Caps won, I saw dudes in the hood with Caps shirts. Something. let's go Caps. Caps all the way. Caps all day. Rock the red. And I'm like, since when did you start liking hockey? Like, can you name somebody on the team besides Ogie?
Like
Ogie? Like, tell me somebody.
We got to get more people going to hockey.
We don't. But we accepted Bryce into our community and was like, yo, you are the adopted son. We put everything behind him and said, okay, we accepted, all the stuff and stories we heard about Bryce. We said, it's okay. Bryce is going to stay. We going to make sure that Bryce is who, he's going to be good. So when Bryce won a home run derby, I was like, yo, we good.
Yeah, we made it.
Like, yo, somebody here won.
Yeah, somebody here won. That made it. That was dope.
It's like, you wait for the end of the season, and you're like, you moved. You emptied your house?
Yeah, whole house.
Like,
empty.
Dude, you're not even going to tell us bye? You sent us a Instagram, thanks DC?
It was already gone.
You was already in Las Vegas.
You was already gone.
Like
really,
like
Bryce?
I think the Nats did a good job of trying to keep him. Okay. I also think a lot of times, I think one of the reasons why they had a lot of coaching changes may have been because of Bryce. I think one of the great things about the Nats right now is the fact that you have Strasburg and you have I just went blank. The other pitcher.
Who,
Scherzer, yes. Max Scherzer.
That's our people.
Yeah, Max. Oh, Max is cool. Max is
cool.
When I tell you Max is cool, Max is really down to earth. Like, when Max came to welcome us and dropped off this little gift to us, Max was just walking and talking. I'm like, you don't have no security? You just going to pull up in a Tesla. Not a Benz, Beamer, just a Tesla. I was like, okay, cool. I say, hey, Max is all day. But because you have those two guys, and plus I love Juan Soto. I think he's gonna be a stud. When he gets himself situated, he's gonna be a stud for the Nats.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot of folks say the Nats don't really even need Bryce. What do you think about that? I've heard that logic, like, they don't need Bryce. I don't think it's not that they don't need him. I like Bryce. That's my problem. But at the same token, Bryce don't need $400 million from the Nats. I wouldn't.
The question is, do the Nats need Bryce?
I like you all day.
Do the Nats need Bryce? I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I don't think they.
Do they need a big bat in their lineup? Of course. Right. When you put Bryce in the 3, when Bryce is batting in that 2 spot, he's hitting. Right. When you move in that 3 and that 4, that 5 spot, Bryce goes missing. You throw him a changeup or an off-speed pitch, a curveball, slider.
Yeah.
Bryce is liable to strike out.
Right.
Or he's going to pop up.
Right.
I mean, he's a liability. You can't say it's a guarantee.
Right.
So I think if the Nats get another big bat in, I would love for them to go get Adam Jones, but I know that's not going to happen.
So yeah, you like Adam Jones?
I do, man. That's the homie. I like Adam, man. That's the homie, man. He's cool.
You talk about Adam Jones a lot.
Yeah. Like I said, man, Adam looked out. Like he gave the kids. When I tell you, we went to Baltimore to visit him. He set it up. He set it out. Like, it was dope. So I had to give it to him.
So we got about 2 or so minutes left. What's next?
What's next? Right now, Coach Curtis is not existing right now. Coach Curtis is on break.
Are you?
Yes, I have taken some of the fall
out of your
off.
little hiatus to come join us live in the studio.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was time to do some things with my daughter, spend some time with her. Even, kind of put some more things into my professional kind of goals and things like that. So, I'll be back in the spring. We'll be back. Maybe Johnson will be back. So, yeah.
So, wait, you all get started when?
We get started in April.
Okay, you get started in April.
But we're taking, if you want to play baseball, www.mjlldc.org. Sign up. We're looking for coaches, volunteers. Bring your kids. We'll bring them up. We don't cut nobody.
For real?
We don't cut nobody.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we don't cut
that
nobody.
Was live on the air. That was a real response just then.
Yeah, we don't cut.
Y'all didn't cut nobody. That's awesome. Because then that means like you said, you just coach them up.
You bring your kid there. We'll make sure your kid play.
That's what's up.
We're not turning on nobody.
Come on, Divine, me somebody kid, bring them. Be like, you want to play baseball? Come on, I got you. Then you gonna get coached up. 'Cause I can't help you in baseball. Can't help you. I can talk about it all day, but there's no help. So, anything else you want to share? Because we start another topic, then we're gonna be all over. They gonna shut us down. Like, get on out of here.
Nothing really. Just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, DC, Maryland, Virginia, DC, whole U.S. Everybody supported us. We thank you very much. We greatly appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So whenever I want you to come back and talk about baseball, because we ain't not talking about them raggedy Cowboys. Not on this show. Not up in here.
We'll see you Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I might be listening. Don't say nothing to me if it don't go the Redskins way. It's like, no, but thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Alrighty, so I think that is almost a wrap for this Thursday's edition of Culture from the Couch, live from the studio. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all next week.
Sports is what we do. It's the fast track at peak speed, moving across the ice, blockers, hitters, B-team, beatdowns, and knockouts.